Welcome back, guys. This is Hold the Door DFS at Fantasy Sports Insight. This is the second edition of our puck drop here. We will have this content all year, so be on the lookout. Thanks for supporting if you checked it out yesterday. Today we have a massive slate, so it's going to be a lot of games, a lot of players to talk about, a lot of odds. I think when you have this big of a slate, you just have to try to take advantage of the best spots possible, because there is going to be spots that you're going to miss the goals. You just can't possibly cover all the goals. So, or just like you can't be worried about one game going off. You just have to find your optimal spots and take it and go. So let's get into it. The value plays went great. Hopefully you tailed some of those. Hoglander with a goal in his NHL debut was phenomenal at sub 3K. Dylan Strome also with a goal at the very end. Ethan Bear with an assist. Who else did I? Oh, Josh Anderson from Montreal, 2 goals, I think 7 shots on goal or something like that. So a lot of really great value, and there is tons of great value on this slate too that we'll get to here in a second, and it will make your lineup super easy if you're looking to build. So let's start with the odds and the totals, just to kind of give us a mindset and where we want to start again. And we'll start on the left side here. The Hurricanes with the highest implied total. And they're one of the highest favorites at minus 200. 3.9 goals, almost 4 goals here against Detroit. And then Golden Knights, 3.6 total. Capitals, 3.3. Bruins, 3.2. And Oilers, 3.2. So, all the implied totals are pretty close here when you get past the top 2. But I think, the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights are going to be teams that you want to target today in your builds. Obviously, we have some studs on those bottom 3 teams too that will be very appealing, like Alex Ovechkin, Marchand, Bergeron, and McDavid. So the biggest money line favorites here is the Golden Knights at minus 220. Hurricanes are minus 200. The Bruins are minus 180. And the highest game total is actually the one with the highest implied total, Carolina and Detroit. Washington, Buffalo, Edmonton, Vancouver, Anaheim, and Vegas, all with totals of 6. All right, the center position. McDavid was a letdown. He actually got the 5-shot bonus, and I think that was just because they were losing, and he was kind of firing some more errant shots that he doesn't normally do. He's more usually like 3 shots on goal, two goals. Like he's just more efficient with less shot totals because he's just taking really high quality shots, and it just didn't work out tonight. And that is the variance in hockey, and it's huge, So the studs, Connor McDavid, 8.5K. I'm not sure, right now in my initial builds, I think you can easily get to him because of the value, but I think there is some phenomenal mid-range value at the winger position too. So I think, and there is another stud at the defender position that you may consider playing as well. So McDavid, 8.5K, definitely in play. I assume him to bounce back here in the same matchup against Vancouver. Eichel, 7.8 against the Capitals. Now it's going to be with Taylor Hall. I think the Sabres will be really competitive in this game. But I don't think that they, score 4 or 5 goals. But I think in the studs for the center position, I don't really love Zibanejad against the Islanders. So I think Eichel would be the next logical choice here. But I do really like Patrice Bergeron at 7.2K without David Pastrnak he is out. So it's gonna really fall on to Bergeron and Marchand, who will get at the winger position. And then Sebastian Aho on the biggest favorite was phenomenal last season, loves to shoot the puck. So the 5-shot on goal bonus is always in play for him, has really high upside, plays a lot of time on the ice. So against a matchup against the Red Wings, when they have the highest implied total, I think he is somebody definitely to consider at 7.1K. Now the mid-range guys here, like Mark Scheifele and Monahan, I think they're too cheap, but I also think in cash, they're not somebody that you need to go to because they are more reliant on goal or assist, but they are on the ice a ton. They're always in the first power play. They are always in the center of the power play, dishing to some really good wingers. Scheifele's, dishing it to Laine, one of the best snipers in the league. Monahan's got, Johnny Hockey on one of his sides. So just really good plays that I like pairing up with, I think, the wingers who are also way underpriced for both of these teams are better cash plays. But I think these guys are really nice correlation plays that have good upside in GPPs. Duchesne at 4.4K. I still don't even know how he got priced that low for Nashville. Great price, phenomenal player. I think his role is different with them than it was when he was with the Senators, when he was just like the guy. But we saw him last season still be really successful with Nashville. So value, Charlie Coyle, I think again is going to have to play a bigger role without Pastrnak. Like he showed that he can do that in the playoffs last year. I'm not really sure where he'll line up. Probably on line 2, since he'll play the center position likely. Trocheck 4,000 for, again, Carolina, who again has the highest implied total. A player who, when he was playing with Florida, would be priced at 5.5, 6, sometimes higher than that. Definitely has the skill set and the upside. Just hasn't really seen it come to life yet in Carolina, and I think this new season might give him that opportunity to do that. Jack Hughes, New Jersey might be the worst team on the slate today. Well, I mean, there's a lot of bad teams, but without Taylor Hall, just I don't know. I don't know what to. I think they're gonna not be very good, but I think the best player on their team is gonna be Jack Hughes and Kyle Palmieri. So Jack Hughes has said he's ready to have one of the best seasons he's had in his short career and really bust out this season. And I think at 3.6K, he's top power play, top line, will be on the ice a ton, will be shooting. I think is a phenomenal value at the center position. And then Max Domi moving to Columbus. I think I just read recently too that he just came out and said he wants to shoot the puck more. And in my mind, in DFS, that is like absolutely put him in my lineup if he wants to shoot more. So I think he'll be lined up on the second line. Dubois will be on the first line, but I think Domi's going to be paired up with Atkinson, who's a phenomenal value at the winger position too. So let's get to the winger position. The winger position, here's some studs. I would have penciled in Pastrnak if he was playing, but he is listed on the IR. Ovechkin at 8.5K. I don't really need to spend much time on him. The shot on goal bonus is always in play for somebody like him, even at his age. Phenomenal upside, regardless of the matchup. So 8.5K, I think you can definitely consider him on this slate because of how good value there is. Marchand, again, like I said, without Pastrnak, I think will be relied on even more. But I do think, when you like to play Boston, you like to play it when those three are playing together because their correlated success is so high. And maybe that top line is just not as good tonight without Pastrnak. So then you get Patches or Max Pacioretty at 6.9K, who, again, the Golden Knights are one of the highest, or are the biggest money line favorites on the slate and have the second highest implied total. He was insane in the playoffs. And when I say insane, I'm talking about from a DFS perspective, you're getting 4 to 6 shots on goal a game. So that shot and goal bonus is always in play. And that is a huge boost. That's over half of an assist when you get that extra 3 points. So it's huge. Evander Kane, talk about somebody who likes to shoot. I mean, I know he was just in the news for going bankrupt, but when he is on the ice, he wants to shoot the puck. And I can't really say much more about him besides he's a phenomenal DFS play almost all the time, especially when he's sub 7K. Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, 6.1K, kind of like I mentioned with Monahan. He is a better cash play, in my opinion, than Monahan. He doesn't still have like the highest shot on goal floor, but I do think it's higher than Monahan, and they both have upside for 2 to 3 points in a game. So in the mid range here, Laine and Wheeler, the Jets wingers that I think are way underpriced. Like Laine last year was when he was in his top form. I mean, you're talking 7.5, K, and he was shooting 4 to 5 shots on goal a game. Obviously has goal upside. So I think if you're landing in the mid range with him, that is a great play. Now there is a ton of other plays that I'm not mentioning and that I think are all underpriced. I don't really know who did the pricing here for the first week, but they might lose their job here pretty soon. Cam Atkinson at 4.4K might be one of the more popular plays on the entire slate, just because he's just way underpriced. We know his role. He's going to shoot the puck. He always, for some reason, gets really underpriced at the beginning of the season, and then they figure out, oh yeah, this is Cam Atkinson, who's, one of the best players on Columbus. Okay, let's get him back up to like 6K. Here's the value here. We have Nino Niederreiter at 3.7K, which I love. I think he's going to be on the first power play unit and the first line paired up with Aho for Carolina. So phenomenal value, former Wild player, 3.7K. Speaking of the Wild, if you're a Minnesota fan and you're listening, I apologize if I pronounce his name wrong. It probably is. I think it's Kaprizov, and 2.9K. He is going to be one, a player that the Wild are looking to, build their future around, and he's going to likely be on the top line and the top power play at 2.9K. You can't go wrong there. And then we have Hoglander, who showed up with a goal tonight. 2.9K. He actually got a bump down to 2.8K. They must have forgot, that he again is one of Vancouver's upcoming studs, and he is getting top power play time and top line time with Bo Horvat. So great play, Hoglander. The defender position, as you saw on the cover, Mr. Brent Burns. It took me a little bit to actually find a good picture of him. It's either the teeth or the hair or the beard, or something hanging from his mouth, but he's an absolute DFS stud. And this is the only price they got kind of right. And I think he's actually overpriced a little bit, just relative to some of the other players on the slate. So I don't actually think Burns is a must here. I never would say no to playing him in cash, because he is the person with the highest likelihood of the double-double bonus. So 3 blocks, 5 shots on goal. So right there, you're already talking the double-double as a bonus. You're probably already getting to 15 DK without even a goal or an assist. And obviously his assist equity is very high. And he is still playing with Carlson, but I think, Burns, you gotta love him at that price, or you gotta love him on any slate. And then Dougie Hamilton came on massive last year. 7,000 feels a little bit too expensive for him. I rather than just go to Burns or go down, but the shot and goal upside is immense too. You're talking 4 to 6 shots on goal again with him. So I think, he's finally found a role where he's on the ice a ton with Carolina, where he wasn't really getting that in Calgary, even though we knew he had the offensive upside. Then you had John Carlson here at 6.9K. I think he is more of a pairing with Ovechkin rather than playing him as a one-off. I don't think his floor is as high as some of these other guys in the same price range. Roman Josi, 6.7K, always a DFS staple. For a floor, always can get the block and the shot on goal bonus. Pietrangelo, I'm really excited about. Even though Shea Theodore, who I would also be mentioned down here, I guess I did have enough room to type his name in. Both those two are going to be phenomenal defenders. They got rid of Nate Schmidt. You bring in somebody like Pietrangelo, who also is a DFS god and loves to shoot and block shots. So, and then you add him to a more high octane offense, one that has a higher pace. I love the spot for Pietrangelo, and with the team with the biggest money line favorite on the slate. Then we get to the mid-range here. Seth Jones, you'll find him on the ice for 25 to 28 minutes. Always has great upside at 5.2K. It's just way too cheap. Then you get Erik Karlsson at 4.8K. Again, this is what happened last year. For some reason, Burns is definitely more consistent and was more consistent, but there is not a $3,000 price difference between these guys. So I think Erik Karlsson is going to be extremely popular at 4.8K, and rightfully so, unless for some reason we find out, his role is going to be different. I don't know. I just don't see why that happens. Obviously, we haven't had preseason, so I think there's a little bit more unknowns, but it's Erik Karlsson. He's a phenomenal defender and great for, offensive play in DFS. Matt Dumba, I love at 4.2K, and a great matchup against LA. I think, again, he's one that will eventually be closer to 5K most of the season. Loves to shoot the puck. Then we get to the value here. Ethan Bear, 3.7K. He was one of my favorite values tonight and did have an assist. Tyson Barrie at 3.3K. I need to look, over what, how much he played tonight. I know he was on the first power play unit with Edmonton, and they had 3 or 4 chances. I know he was out there with 3.3K. It feels like an absolute misprice too. So I don't know how that happened. But if he's on the first power play unit with Edmonton, and I'll have to check his time on ice if he played 20 to 25 minutes, I don't know how you don't consider him here at 3.3K. And then Hamonik was dead minimum on this slate. I think he was a phenomenal value. Somebody I kind of overlooked a little bit. I did have an assist and also has great peripheral stats. I think had the 3 block bonus. and a couple shots on goal. So 3.1K, and he is with Vancouver. And then we have Cam Fowler, who will take just like a slight step back in role because they did sign Shattenkirk, who is also in this range, who likely will get power play one time. But Cam Fowler is somebody also that was normally priced, 4.5, mid fours, maybe high fives sometimes, depending on the slate. He's going to still see 22 to 25 minutes on the ice. 3.1K just seems extremely cheap for somebody with his talent and ability. So thanks a lot for listening, guys. Greatly appreciate it. If you can hit that like button, that is super helpful. And check out all of our other great content here at Fantasy Sports Insight. We are going to be pumping out content left and right, and we want to be there for you. We want you to come back to our channel. And if you're looking for my core plays and for every showdown, Fanduel, and Draftkings, just go to fsidfs.com, get that VIP package, and you can get all of our sports, or you can just sign up for NHL only and hang out with me in the premium Discord channel. All right. Thanks a lot. See ya.